Hi Seattle U content editors, this is your web support specialist Megan Otis, and this training video is how to navigate the CMS. Now that you've logged into Terminal 4, we're going to take a look around the interface here. On the left hand side of your screen, you'll find the dashboard menu, which might look a little bit different depending on your user type. But all users will be able to find the media library under the content menu, and if you're a power user, you will find the forms tool under the engage menu. Next, let's take a look at the black navigation bar at the top of your screen, where you'll find the Return to Site Structure button, which is better to use than the back button in your browser, and the Bookmarks menu. If you've added any bookmarks, you'll be able to access them here. Next, you'll find the language options, though we currently only have English enabled. Then you can log into the Terminal 4 extranet community, and last, in the profile, you can easily see your user type, as well as log out from Terminal 4. Then the center column here is your site structure, and it contains all the different folders or sections of the Seattle U website that you have permission to access, including the T4 Playground, which is our shared training space. And in this instance, you see the website section, which is the website managed by the Marcom web team as a resource for all of our content editors. If there is a square to the left of the folder, that indicates the section has subsections, and you can click the plus to expand or show all of the subsections. As you can see, Web Content Guidelines, Terminal 4 Training, Web Team Blog, Marketing Communications, Website Feedback, etc. If we go to the live website, you can see those same exact sections reflected here in the navigation menu. Going back to the site structure, we can delve even deeper into the information architecture. Within Web Content Guidelines, we see 4 more subsections. And going back to the live site, we can see these exact same subpages here in the navigation menu. So, roughly, the pages on the website equate to the sections or the folders in Terminal 4. But it's not exact, so let's take a look at decoding the icons that you'll see in the site structure. So far, we've seen primarily normal published sections, which are represented by a dark blue folder, and are automatically part of the navigation menu. White-colored folders that are outlined in blue are published but hidden from the navigation menu. Folders shown in orange are pending, which means they're not yet published, and they can be hidden from the navigation menu, like the Center for Awesome, or not. Folders shown in red are inactive, or deleted, or unpublished. Inactive sections, though, are different while related to archived sections, which look like little file boxes. And any changes made to archived sections will not be published. Next, you will see internal and external link sections. An example of this is the link to the Marketing Communications website within the web team's navigation menu. It's not a section with content housed within the Resources for Content Editor site. The section is just a link to the content housed within an entirely different section of the website. You can also include an external link section, which will link your users outside of the Seattle University website. Then the last icon I want to mention is the mirrored icon, which looks a bit like 2 overlapping squares. This indicates that an exact version of that content exists elsewhere on the site, but I'll talk more about mirroring in another video later on. So far we've talked about sections and site structure, which is essentially the framework that makes up our websites. But now let's talk about content. Each folder contains all of the content items that make up that page. The headlines, text, images, and all the other content items that make up what we see when we visit the website. For example, if we click here into the top level folder of our website, and we click over to the Content tab, here we will find a list of all of the content blocks that make up our page. And each of these content items has a name and a content type associated with them. Let's take a look at how these look on the live website. The first item listed was the training quick links, which we can see here. If we go back to our list, we can see the next item is the Content Resources Jumbotron, shown here. Going back to our list, we can see the next item is the Jumbotron for Terminal 4 Training, which we scroll down and we can see here. Then back to our list, the next is the focus box titled Questions, which we see as a mirrored content item. And then we can see it there underneath the navigation menu on the left-hand side. And last on the list is the organizer, listing all of the blog posts, which you can see on the right-hand side underneath the quick links. Each of these content blocks is a structured content type, so let's take a look at one. In In the Jumbotron for content resources, we see a field for a heading and a heading link, a subheading, and a paragraph field containing all of the text that was in the Jumbotron in this content item. As you see underneath it, all of the links that were included in that Jumbotron as well. We'll get into further detail in later training videos, but hopefully you can start to see how all of these different elements, how the sections and the site structure and the content items within the CMS work together to build all of our Seattle U websites.